Measles, a highly contagious virus that can spread rapidly through public spaces, has made its way to Washington, D.C. after a confirmed case was identified. Health officials are scrambling to trace the steps of the infected person, who visited several spots in the district. The Washington, D.C. Department of Health has issued a warning, urging anyone who may have been exposed to stay alert for symptoms. So, where could you have been exposed? If you were in certain locations on March 19 and 22, you could have come into contact with the virus. These include the Amtrak Northeast Regional 175 train, Southbound, from 7:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., the Amtrak concourse at Union Station between 11 p.m. and 1:30 a.m., and MedStar Urgent Care in Adams Morgan on March 22 between 7 p.m. and 11 p.m. It's easy to think of measles as something that's long gone, but this highly contagious disease is still a very real threat, especially if you're unvaccinated. And what makes it worse is that an infected person can spread measles before showing any signs of illness, as well as up to 4 days after the rash appears. What are the symptoms and when should you worry? The early signs of measles include a high fever, over 101 degrees Fahrenheit, cough, runny nose, and red or watery eyes. Sounds pretty miserable, right? But what really makes measles stand out is the rash, which appears 3 to 5 days after the initial symptoms. It usually begins on the face and spreads down to the rest of the body. If you've been to one of the spots mentioned by the health department and aren't vaccinated, it's crucial to keep an eye on your health. Symptoms typically show up 7 to 14 days after exposure. Health officials recommend you monitor your health for up to 21 days after potential exposure. And, if you feel even the slightest symptoms coming on, don't wait, call your doctor or DC Health at 844-493-2652. It's better to be safe than sorry. The vaccination debate: are you protected? For those who have received the full measles, mumps, and rubella (MMR) vaccine, or were born before 1957, you're generally considered protected. However, if you've only had one dose of the vaccine, you might want to consider getting a second one for full immunity. While measles can be prevented with the MMR vaccine, many remain at risk, especially infants under 12 months and those who have never been vaccinated. The virus is especially dangerous for those who are most vulnerable, including young children and unvaccinated adults. But honestly, the solution is simple: get vaccinated. 2 doses of the MMR vaccine offer lifetime protection, and considering how easily measles spreads, it's better to be safe than sorry. Nearby Maryland joins the concern. Interestingly, just a few days before this case in D.C., Maryland confirmed its first measles case of the season in a traveler who passed through the Baltimore airport. The virus has already swept through much of the Northeast this winter, making this outbreak especially worrying for those living in the region. It's never a bad time to remind ourselves of the importance of vaccinations, especially when diseases like measles are making a comeback. So, let's all take this as a friendly reminder to stay informed, check your vaccination status, and take action if needed. Measles might seem like a thing of the past, but this recent outbreak proves it's still something we need to take seriously. Have you been to any of the locations listed? It's always better to be cautious and keep a close eye on your health, just in case.